The Ficohsa Financial Group is headquartered in Panama and has operations in four Central American countries. It is currently integrated by the following subsidiaries: in Guatemala, Ficohsa Bank Guatemala and Alianza Insurance Company; in Honduras, Ficohsa Bank Honduras, Ficohsa Insurance, Ficohsa Remittances, Ficohsa Credit Cards, and Ficohsa Pensions; in Nicaragua, Ficohsa Bank Nicaragua and Ficohsa Credit Cards; in Panama, Ficohsa Bank Panama. Ficohsa Bank Honduras was founded in 1994 as a financial institution focused on corporate operations. In the mid-2000s, Ficohsa Bank Honduras increased its participation in the retail banking market and is now one of the leaders in this segment. Retail banking includes credit card business, personal loans, passive accounts, payroll accounts, remittances, premier banking, insurance banking, and other products aimed at individuals. Nowadays, the bank has 128 points of banking services in 22 cities nationwide and serving more than 700,000 retail customers and more than 2,500 corporate clients. Ficohsa Financial Group has a subsidiary in the United States, Ficohsa Express. This is a company dedicated to providing remittance services to Central Americans living in the U.S. wanting to send money to Central America. It currently has 14 agencies in the states of Florida, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, North Carolina, California, and Louisiana. In addition, Ficohsa Bank Honduras has a representative office in Miami, state of Florida, operating since 2006. Ficohsa Financial Group is recognized as a socially responsible leader through the work carried out by the Ficohsa Foundation, an entity created more than a decade ago to improve the conditions and standards of preschool education in the country. The foundation has provided benefits to more than 10,000 preschoolers. The group is also known for receiving annually the Great Place to Work recognition of Central America and the Caribbean for its good working environment. 2 years after the start of operations of the bank in Honduras, Ficohsa acquired an insurance company, which became the number one in the country just after 6 years, maintaining its position to date. In 2012, Ficohsa Financial Group began a process of regional diversification from its operation in Honduras, which had been founded in 1994. This process of diversification began with the purchase of Banco Americano in Guatemala. Subsequently, Ficohsa Financial Group received approval to operate in Panama under an international license, which was subsequently transformed to a general license in 2013. In 2015, Ficohsa Financial Group acquired the retail banking operations of Citibank in Honduras, and in 2016, the retail banking operations of Citibank Nicaragua. The Honduras operation was merged and absorbed by Ficohsa Bank Honduras, and the Nicaraguan operation became what today operates as Ficohsa Bank Nicaragua and Ficohsa Credit Cards. The same year, we started operations for Ficohsa Pensions, and some months later acquired an insurance operation in Guatemala. As of June 30th, 2017, the consolidated financial statements of Ficohsa Financial Group record total assets of $4.4 million and a consolidated net equity of $336 million. Consolidated annualized profit as of this date reached $36.4 million. A simplified timeline of our business can be represented as follows. The start of the company in Honduras. Ficohsa established itself as a reference point in the market, leading innovation through the implementation of the first online banking platform in the history of the country and having the biggest ATM network. The market share started to grow in this period, becoming a point of reference in the financial system of Honduras. The frozen era. After 15 years of operations, Ficohsa decided to implement a new core banking system. It was a painful experience that lasted 5 years and had a heavy consequence. The business got frozen, as changes were restricted in order to finish the project without further delays. Regional expansion and innovation. As a result of the core implementation project, A great effort in order to stabilize the systems and operations was done, and only after that, the regional expansion started in Central America along with important projects of innovation that contributed to an accelerated growth of the business and strengthening its position once again and better than before. The transformation. A new strategic plan has been established. By 2023, Ficohsa seeks to continue being the number one bank in Honduras, as well as position itself as strongly as it is in Honduras in the rest of the countries of our region. As PMO, we are proud to be part of Ficohsa Financial Group's evolution and very excited about the new challenges ahead. We are a diverse and dynamic team from different educational backgrounds, fairly young with an average age of 30 years. We provide project management services for sponsors and functional leaders, supporting them from the initiating stage of projects to the closing stage. We also provide project management training for collaborators across all levels of the organization. Our portfolio includes strategic, business and technology mandatory and regulatory projects. We are very excited for the opportunity to present our history, evolution, and value in the following slides. The history of our PMO can be summarized in three major phases. The first phase consisted of establishing a team of people within the IT area to support the execution of technology projects by consistently monitoring their work plans. Although it was very visionary of the IT area to take the first steps toward a PMO, project management and culture in the organization remained immature and done in a very empirical way. In terms of methodology, in the initiating stage, objectives were not set for projects nor a correct stakeholder identification process took place. This hindered the following stages of a project. The projects could start without a business case, without knowing how much return the project would produce for the bank and in what time frame. Project planning was done empirically and not in a standard manner. There was no clarity in the scope, and uncontrolled changes happened to both scope and costs. The business requirements could be incomplete and in other cases be superficial, causing rework and a high probability of reaching the end of the project with deliverables that did not meet 100% of business needs. High-level schedules were produced and did not allow adequate weekly or monthly monitoring, causing delayed corrective actions to schedule deviations. Resources were not available in advanced stages of a project due to lack of adequate planning of them. We were faced with problems, delays and rework that could have been identified and managed as risk in the early stages. Resistance was common due to the lack of adequate communication plans and stakeholder management. Monitoring and controlling of the factors was very difficult since they were not properly identified and documented. It was also a time where procurement practices were very immature, so vendor selection for a particular project had much to desire. This low maturity on project management practices was evidenced when the bank decided to migrate its core banking software system. The bank had a very difficult experience, and in some way we can say it was traumatic for the organization. The project took 5 years to be executed at a very high cost, and results were not as expected. The customer was impacted in a negative way, and reputation was a concern. The second phase occurs mainly as a consequence of the need to strengthen project management practices in the organization. The main objective in the first years was to professionalize the PMO, establishing a methodology for Ficohsa projects and investing in team training and certifications. In terms of methodology, we established processes necessary for any project, right from its conception, approval, and planning to its execution and closure. A PPM software solution was introduced to support these processes. One of the most important processes to be introduced was related to project portfolio management. Business cases are now mandatory to be presented and approved before resource allocation happens. Project portfolio prioritization has become a must. On average, a total of 55 projects per year were being managed by the PMO team. As PMO, we certainly had an influence on procurement practices, as we promoted as a best practice the request for proposal process for vendor selection in all projects that required it. Now the procurement department and the PMO work closely on projects that need contracting a third party. With regards to personnel, we trained the team and now have 9 PMPs or CAPM certified people in the PMO and 13 in total in the organization. This may sound modest, however, it is relevant when you realize that in the whole country there are only 62 people with certifications by PMI. PMO training and certification helped in a way that internally we all spoke the same language and allowed everyone to contribute to the evolution of our methodology and practices. By the end of this phase, the PMO had doubled its capacity from 8 to 15 FTEs. Up to this point, the focus was from the inside out, but moving forward, we knew that the organizational culture was the main obstacle. You could see some signs that change was happening. Suddenly, our internal customers started using words such as WBS, project baseline, change control, etc., and even phrases like, I don't want my project to be in red. However, more important than influencing in the vocabulary of our internal customers and stakeholders, we were aware that the only way to counteract the cultural issue was with results and demonstrating value. The PMO became the single source of truth for project statuses, providing project performance KPIs for C-level balanced scorecards. The PMO was paramount in the execution of many projects during this phase. We classify projects in 3 categories: running the business, growing the business, and transforming the business. Let me mention a few of these projects. A program was created for the stabilization process of the systems after the core banking migration. This helped provide better customer service by improving the uptime of all the bank system, critical issue resolution, and of course, safeguarding the bank's reputation. An ERP implementation project in order to simplify and consolidate the accounting information of the bank. Migration of all information systems from Citibank to Ficohsa after the Nicaragua business acquisition. The implementation of a new web and mobile banking channel and the first banking chatbot in Honduras, enabling account balance and transactions through social networks, as well as a mobile wallet implementation. All of these help position the bank again as a leading digital player in the market and being recognized as the best digital bank in Honduras by Latin Finance Awards. Regional Compliance Platform Program, standardizing anti-money laundering practices and processes across the region. Another example of a project that helped grow the business was the implementation of the core system for the pensions company, which was a new addition to the financial group. Regional implementation of the debt collection system helped reduce the cost of credit, which has a direct impact on the bank's P&L. Data center migration from Panama to Miami, which significantly helped reduce IT costs. The third phase is a chapter that is being written, and its trigger is the implementation of a new business transformation strategy for the financial group. Our unit was selected to be an integral part of the transformation office, which meant expanding the scope of the PMO from supporting IT-related projects to supporting business projects and changing its role from a departmental PMO to an enterprise PMO for the implementation of all strategic projects necessary for the transformation of the financial group in the next 5 years. As shown in the graph, PMO's evolution goes in consonance with the business timeline. The PMO structure has evolved according to its role in the organization. Initially, on our first phase, the PMO reported to the CIO and had 5 FTEs. The need for proper check and balance for IT-related projects influenced the decision to have the PMO report to the COO. Once reporting to the COO, and through successful project implementations, our credibility increased, and budget was approved to increase our headcount to 8 FTEs. More experienced PMs were recruited to strengthen the team, and by the end of Phase 2, we had a total of 15 FTEs. Phase 3 had an impact on the structure, as we are now under a governance model where we are part of the Transformation Office and report to the Regional Chief Transformation Officer. The group's strategy is based on strategic levers that we organized as programs with many projects, so internally we had to readjust and created the program coordinator role. Project managers are assigned as a matrix report to program coordinators whenever they are allocated to a project or a program being managed by a program coordinator. Our current setup for Phase 3 consists of a PMO manager, deputy manager, 5 program coordinators, and 10 project managers. It is the role of the PMO manager to direct and establish our department strategy. Along with the deputy manager, this role is responsible for portfolio management. Project managers report to the deputy manager, who is responsible for resource allocation to the different projects. Being part of the Transformation Office has allowed us to have a closer relationship with all the departments of the organization, who now see us as allies for the execution of their projects and therefore strengthening our role. Within the team, we have roles for specific activities that contribute to improving the PMO. These key roles are the Organizational Training Program Manager. This person is responsible for the execution of project management training outside the PMO. We train people on project management concepts and in our methodology. Capacity Planning Analyst. This person is responsible for consistently evaluating PMO's capacity to take on new projects. This is a recurring process happening at the PMO level. We have done ad hoc analysis for the IT department before and helped them last year justify to the board of directors an increase of headcount of 36 FTEs. After this, we have been asked to expand our scope and include capacity planning for all the IT department as a recurring process. Methodology Specialist. This person is responsible for methodology compliance within the PMO. Quarterly, an internal audit is executed to all project managers in order to measure how is the methodology being applied and identify necessary corrections. It is this person's responsibility to also provide training in order to close the gaps where the methodology is not being applied correctly or in a standard way. Also, this person ensures that the methodology keeps evolving, incorporating changes based on lessons learned, best practices, tools, and techniques. Before talking about objectives, we consider important to highlight our purpose. Why do we exist in the organization? The declaration of our purpose is a result of wanting to avoid situations that we experienced in the past. Personally, I was part of the implementation team of the core banking system project, and it was a very complicated experience. These are situations that affect the work-life balance with extended work hours and even affect people's well-being. The feeling of lack of control is stressful and exhausting. We believe that people should manage projects and not the other way around. This is the reason why we believe our purpose is to create the conditions to make things happen. We create these conditions by implementing projects with the bank's project management methodology, which is based on the PMBOK standard and has been adapted to Ficohsa Bank. Key aspects we focus on are project performance visibility and fluid communication among stakeholders, enabling timely corrective measures to be taken when necessary. All of this with the goal in mind of improving the project's success rate. Having a well-trained PMO staff by providing training and sponsoring PMP and CAPM certifications, as well as developing their leadership skills by making them part of Ficohsa's bank's leadership program. Our goal is to produce leaders with project management expertise that will eventually cross borders to the business side. Training our internal customers and stakeholders in project management practices through a training program that has initially introduced to C-level executives the importance of professional project management as a skill and as a competitive advantage for better strategy execution, as well as train business unit leaders in project management concepts and methodology, making it easier for them to adopt standardized project management practices. Our objective is to promote a project culture and change people's old project management practices towards having an emphasis on project planning, monitoring, and control over execution without defined activities and goals. Reducing chaos by striving to improve our planning processes in order to estimate and manage risks better. We aim to improve the project's team work-life balance, as healthy and motivated people will always make a difference in project results. Establishment of project approval processes, committees for ensuring proper alignment of the projects with Ficohsa's strategy, giving priority to those that generate greater financial benefit to the institution to achieve the organization's strategic goals. During the last couple of years, the project portfolio managed by the PMO has grown not only in size, going from an average of 46 active projects in 2017 to 55 in 2018, but also there has been an increase in the effectiveness of closing them, obtaining their benefits in a timely manner, and achieving the objectives planned for each of them. A 3% improvement of projects completed on time was achieved, going from 43% in 2017 to 46% in 2018. Our definition of a project completed on time is a project with a 5% deviation from initial estimates. In comparison with PMI's Pulse of the Profession survey, we are getting closer to the average, but still having a big opportunity for improvement and surpassing average global stats. Last year, our headcount doubled nearly in size to 15 FTEs. To us, this is a sign that the organization is willing to invest in the PMO and trusts we have been delivering value in the last couple of years. Our certification program produced last year 3 more PMPs for the PMO, achieving a rate of 53% of the members of the team with a PMI certification. It was also a great honor for the PMO when our deputy manager led the selection process for the consulting firm that helped define the financial group strategy for the next 5 years. Once the project started, he became a key participant in the definition of the strategy. We started an organizational program during the last quarter of 2018. We invited recognized leaders in project management from Latin America to have sessions with top and mid-level management to emphasize the importance of project management skills as a competitive advantage. From there on, we managed to train 55 persons on project management practices and methodology from different departments across all levels of the organization. Our proudest moment came last year's fourth quarter when a vote of confidence was given to the PMO, being selected as an integral part of the Transformation Office, expanding its scope to supporting and controlling business projects as an EPMO. With the strategy defined, strategic levers and initiatives declared and sponsors identified, it was the duty of the PMO to jointly define with the business leaders the projects required to meet the goals of each strategic lever. We trained business leaders in business case elaboration and worked with finance department to validate the return on investment on each project. Projects have been prioritized, and a transformation program has been designed for the next 5 years with a current setup of 72 active projects at different stages. Benefits realization management practices have been introduced and are a work in progress. In the words of our COO, in recent years, the PMO in Ficohsa has played a leading role, becoming the entity in charge of centralizing and coordinating project management, contributing to the fulfillment of organizational objectives. The use of a robust management methodology has been key to integrate scope, schedule, and resources and to measure the performance and progress of projects objectively. The organization already pictured itself in a future state by defining the strategic plan for the next 5 years. So the priority of the PMO in the next 12 months will be to consolidate itself as the strategic arm of the company, orchestrating the initiatives and delivering value to the process and the people. There are also other important topics the PMO will reinforce within the next couple of years as follows. We need to internalize the benefits management practice. In order to expand its contribution to the strategic plan process, the PMO will need to deepen into this practice. The purpose is to be able to master a set of techniques and hard skills in order to manage benefits properly. Promote change management practices. There is a great opportunity to improve the way that changes in the organization are managed, and we believe that Ficohsa must learn specific techniques of this discipline in order to control the impact of the changes. Establish an agile methodology. The PMO has already started to introduce some agile concepts and principles. Nevertheless, it is a different way of working projects that requires the people to be aligned and engaged with it. So a lot of effort has to be put in the cultural aspects of this topic. In the PMO of the Ficohsa Financial Group, we are committed to being the leaders of this new project-oriented culture permeating our institution. We are certain that the standardization and project methodology, as well as our constant and open attitude towards change, process development, and innovation, will continue to add value and challenge the status quo of our bank. As Ficohsa's PMO, we have helped our institution generate new products and services that add to our bottom line. We have reduced the number of failed projects, and we have created more control in project budgeting and estimations. In Ficohsa's financial group, we are proud of being pioneers in project management. We want to continue adding value to our internal customers and reflect financial benefits for many years to come. We would like to thank the opportunity given to present our PMO and thank the PMO team for achieving astounding results during these last years. I am certain this team will drive the business transformation that is our goal. Thank you.